All right. So GS2 and governance, there will be a lot of overlap here from GS4. All right. So again, let us start with the same question, and which is the very important question, that how to score high in GS paper number 2. What is the most important challenge if you see in GS paper number 2? If you ask me the most important challenge, it is not the content, it is the understanding of the question. It is the understanding of keywords, which is a problematic thing in GS paper number 2. It's very much challenging. All right. So because they will give you some of the statements and you will have to write those statements. All right. So let's say if I give you a very simple statement, judicial activism is the need of the hour. Critically examine. This statement looks very simple, but you know how to write the answer. This creates a challenge. All right. All right. So even if you know about judicial activism, what is the demand of the question? What is the demand of the question? You must understand this. This is very, very important in this paper number 2. It is the need of the hour. That means that you will have to trace the evolution of judicial activism and present status of the judicial activism. Your focus should be on that. All right. And there are certain loopholes in judicial activism, which is in the form of judicial overreach. That should also be mentioned, but in a very structured way. All right. So here, if you understand this, if you just understand, okay, judicial activism is there, the keyword is there, and you are going to write about judicial activism, trapped. You are trapped into the question. All right. And probably you will not be able to address the question in its entirety. All right. All right. So what is there? Judicial activism is the need of the hour. I'll be coming to that. So you can talk about the, you can start 1970s, era of 1970s, when you have policy paralysis or policy logjam. All right. Or policy logjam. Then judicial activism first time came up. All right. But it has got the constitutional backing under article number 142. But nowadays, judiciary entering into the domain, there are cases of judicial overreach also, which has been criticized. Particularly when judiciary making committee, judiciary appointing executives, these things. All right. These things. But what is the purpose? I told you already that purpose of judicial activism will be what? Purpose of judicial activism will be to fill the gap, to ensure complete justice. To ensure complete justice. I just wanted to give you the, the brief idea what should be the content of this question. Please come. To ensure complete justice. Take this. All right. So the idea is very simple. When you need to, let's say I just wanted to tell you a different question, similar kind of question. India's growth story is a story of, policy paralysis. Or India's growth story is centered around what? The story of evolution of judiciary. You can say that. So what does this question means? What does this statement mean? judicial activism, but it is related with the growth story. That means what? You will have to trace it. You will have to trace it, that how judicial activism has led to ensuring complete justice. So that's what I wanted to tell. My point is to develop the complete understanding of the question, which is very, very essential in this paper. All right, it will not be very, very light thing that you can just read the question lightly and go ahead. All right. So what should be there in this case? How to, is this the complete content? No. In this case, let's say without having this what do you call, examples, without having the cases, you are not going to get marks. So you must be writing about the cases of judicial activism. For example, MC Mehta case will be for what? Taj trapezium, Taj corridor, Visakha guidelines. For what? Sexual harassment of women at workplace. All right. All right. Prakash Singh, DGP Prakash Singh case. On what? Bolo? Police reform.
Police reforms.
Yes. So these kind of cases, leaker van along highways. No, that is not judicial activism. That is judicial interpretation. Case Puttaswamy case, that was 9 judge bench, and that was constitutional interpretation, which is in the domain of judiciary only. So that is not judicial activism. Judicial activism when judiciary crossing its domain, for filling the gap, for ensuring the complete justice. This is just one example. I started this class with an example. All right. High wage. All right. So these are 4-5 cases. But again, at the same time, you should be having this cases of judicial overreach, creation of SIT, creation of TEC, Technical Expert Committee on Genetically Modified Crops. All right. Appointing BCCI, Lodha Committee. All right. So these will be what? These will be judicial overreach. So let us just begin today, since we are focusing upon governance, which is very, very elementary aspect of it. So let us start with the idea. What do you understand by governance? What is the meaning of governance? You should understand that. What do you understand by governance? And is governance value laden? Is governance value laden? What do you understand by governance? Governance is what? Government and its functioning. Government along with functions. All right. So I'll say this is government. This is the diagram. In first class, everywhere I'm asking you to learn about how to create the diagram. This is very, very important. So this is government. Government is structural aspect. Governance is structural and functional aspect. All right. So look at this, the beauty of this diagram. Can you just differentiate from here? So I'll just ask one thing. Do you think that governance, you know about the social contract? We have already discussed that. Social contract is what? State protecting citizen at the cost of citizen, state giving security to the citizen, and the security changing to welfare. It came in context of security only, and citizen is having what? Citizen is having this what? Right. Surrendering liberty, some of the liberty. So role of a state is what? Expanding. Why it is expanding? Why it is expanding? Why it is expanding? Because the security to welfare, the notion of a state changed from security to welfare. All right. So this expanding role of a state will create an overburdened state. Overburdened state. Look at this. So from here, you will have the overburdened state. I'm just trying to give you conceptual clarity. Overburdened state. All right. So what will happen? What is the solution then for overburdened state? For overburdened state, what is the solution? Solution is state along with what? Private sector along with civil society organization will be the, all these three will be what? Playing the role in ensuring the welfare. So let us just wait here, because here 2-3 questions arises. All right. So what is the role of, what is civil society organization? Let me just give you some illustration about civil society organization. So what is the first thing which you will be using when it comes to civil society organization? A question about civil society organization. Huh? So let's create a diagram. It is neither the part of government, it is neither the part of private, but it is a linking bridge, link pin between government and private. All right. For example, you will have NGOs, you will have self-help groups, you will have associations. All right. Anna? And you will have political parties which is not in power. Will what? Civil society organization. And civil society organization is emerging as the fourth pillar. Fourth pillar. All right. अब देखो आपको सिखाता हूं मैं. Media is also a civil society organization. It is owned by private. It is owned by private, and if it is working for the purpose of profits only, that is not civil society organization. ठीक है ना? If it is working for social welfare but not owned by private, है ना, then it will be civil society organization. ठीक है? University groups will also be the part of civil society organization. सर ये डायग्राम बनाने के लिए ही है, और क्यों है? I just wanted to give you one very important diagram here, है ना? I just wanted to, huh? No, cooperatives are different. Okay, civil society organization, simply this diagram is sufficient. It is self-explanatory. All right. So when it comes about civil society organization, it is acting as the fourth pillar. What? Fourth pillar. So according to the question, you will be telling about that. You must remember some of the names of the NGO. For example, this, for environment, tell me some of the NGOs if you know. In case of social justice, social welfare, for child, what is that name? Akshay Patra Foundation. Pahal. Social justice, what will be there? What will be social justice? In social justice, this will be taken care of in society. You will get all this in society. So for social justice, for environment, what is there? BNHS, and this there is the which is protesting about the Kudankulam plant. The green, what was the name? Greenwich Foundation. Greenpeace. Yes, Greenpeace. Okay, so that's all. You just need to have two NGOs. Okay, in social justice, I'll be telling you. Just wait, about that. So this becomes the fourth pillar of this civil society organization. So what diagram you should be creating, which will differentiate you from others? Governance, fourth pillar of democracy. Why? If it is asked about fourth pillar of governance, that means where civil society organization is playing a role in governance. If it is asked about fourth pillar of democracy, that means where civil society organization is helping in participation and representation. For example, Mazdoor Kisan Shakti Sangathan. What is it is doing? MKSS. MKSS is what? It is helping people being a part of the governance system. RTI. This is very, very important. Diamond diagram for civil society organization. This is very standard diagram. You don't just think that I have created this diagram. This is a very, very standard diagram. All right. Here you will have civic engagement. Civic engagement. Here you will have level of organization. All right. Here you will have perception of impact. And here you will have practice of values. All right. And this one is the 0 and this one is 100. Here also you will have 100. Here also you will have 100. Here also you will have 100. All right. So there is this one is there. That's a civic engagement. I'll just take it. This one is there. This is one aspect of civic engagement to level of organization. What kind of organization is there? Let's say you talk about this for a small NGO. Any organization which is there, it will have level of organization. Let's say if we talk about Kudumbusri. All right, Kudumsri is very big, but some local NGO here. So let's say some change.org. Kudumsri is much more bigger than that of change.org. All right. So let's say this is change.org. All right. And this one will be what? Kudumbusri. Are you understanding my point? Are you understanding my point? So what you need to do for a civil society organization, there must be expansion of this what? Diamond. How to interpret it? How to just create that? Let's just do this analysis. Why not you create a fusion of your knowledge? Today I am going to explain you how to create diagrams. Can you create a level of civil society organization with respect to north, south and northeast divide? Can you create that? Yes. So here you will have, if you create the diamond diagram here only, so here you will have the expanded version of diamond diagram. In South India, in Northern India, you will have the shrinked version. And here you will have what? Very much shrinked. Because level of organization will be most highest in what? South India. Southern organization, Southern India will have better self-help groups, better NGOs. Are you understanding my point?
Yes, sir.
नहीं, question will be like that, है ना? Evaluate the nature and the status of civil society organization which is present in India. Then this diagram will be highly relevant. Are you understanding? Because you are evaluating the nature in India. So nature is what? Spatial nature. This is spatial nature. All right. Why civil society organization evolved? Why there was, and when did it start evolving? क्या 1950s में you will find too much civil society organization? No. There will be groupings, political groupings will be there. That was maximum the thing. So there was no concept of self-help groups. It is a recent concept. So from 1970s onwards only, the idea, there is a very important aspect, very important paradigm in this governance. That is what? Policy paralysis. Policy paralysis led to the birth of judicial activism also, civil society organization also. Are you understanding? ये सब content market में है ही नहीं, गायब है पूरा. I am not saying you to create this big diagram. This will be dangerous. One diagram should be equivalent to 20 to 30 words. If it is not curtailing 30 words, then there is no point in making diagrams. Are you understanding my point? All right. So let's talk about that. This is civil society organization. You understood, Anna? Then let's talk about the private sector. Let's talk about the private sector. Why do we need private sector, and which all areas do we need private sector? We are in the, let's just see private sector. Some of the evidences which are being used: PPP model of projects, PPP model of projects, viability gap funding. All right, viability gap funding, and in this only you have a turnkey project. All this is also a kind of PPP model of project. BOP, balance, operate and process. BOT, balance, operate and transfer. BOOT, balance, own, operate and transfer. EPC. This will be again in what? Economic models. Paper 3, GS paper 3, it will also be there. All right. Balance, operate and transfer. Build, operate and transfer, sorry. So balance, it is coming from balance of payment. Build, operate and transfer. Build, own, operate and transfer. Engineering, procurement and construction. Yes, ham model is also there. We will discuss about that. Don't worry. This is the evidences of what? Evidences of this what? Private sector. All right, being participated. So why do we need private sector? Why private sector? Private sector because of come quick. So why do we need private sector? Private sector is needed for the purpose of what?
Finances.
What?
Finance.
The most important thing is skills. Private sector. If you are asked about what is the difference between public sector and private sector, the most important one-line difference which you have to write it in the first instance is what? The difference of motive. Private sector motive is what? To ensure profit. Public sector motive is to ensure welfare. So this is public sector and private sector. So public sector is welfare. strategic motive. Anna, here you will have what? Here you will have, in private sector you will have profit.
Profit.
Profit motive. So you start with this only, and after then if you further expand your knowledge, so private sector will have what? Private sector will have skill set. Private sector will have efficiency, skills, efficiency, growth, to an extent funding also. Competition, scale, risk taking capability, less what? Red tapeism and green tapeism. Less red tapeism and green tapeism. What is green? What do you understand by green tapeism? Red tapeism, you know that pole to pillar, pillar to pole. The file is moving from pole to pillar, pillar to pole. Similarly, in the case of for environmental clearances, for the purpose of environmental clearances, it is moving from one place to another place. So that is what? Green tapeism. But so why should government not be privatizing everything? Government has government privatized railway operations? Why? What is the reason government has not privatized? It is not because of the profit. It is because of the strategic concerns. It is because of the security concerns. So mind it. If you have to take a decision, if you have to make a balanced payout, what to be privatized and what not to be privatized, the privatizing thing should be what? Which is profit oriented, which is mundane tasks, regular work. All right. But which is having the strategic repercussions, which is having the what? Security based repercussions. So it should not be privatized. Are you understanding my point? For example, railway, atomic energy, these things should not be privatized. Space is a different concept altogether. Space is what? Space is the part of global common. You understand global common? Space is the part of global common. Global common means what? It is accessible for everyone. It does not belong to any particular government or any particular organization. So there is an independent organization or there is an independent treaty to what? Control, to manage the space. For example, Outer Space Treaty. It will all come in paper number 3. Okay. So public sector, what is the positive of public sector? Rule bound. All right. Inclusive, growth, social justice, huge CSR. All right, these all are what? Positives of public sector. And you already discussed about a strategic and security interest. Security interest. So if you are asked, tell me what is the most important aspect for India? It is security or profit? Security. Profit does not matter when it comes to security. All right. That's why we are not going to have this what? Atomic energy kind of sectors to be privatized. All right. So did you understand why do we need private sector? Why do we need public sector? All right. So coming next, in governance. So when private sector is coming, it is coming with efficiency in public sector. All right. It is coming with efficiency in public sector. For this efficiency, what all should be, what all principles should be used? Let's say I told you one thing, CSR, corporate social responsibility. This is the same thing here and ethics, both the places. When you know about CSR, so I'll be just giving you about CSR coming from section 135D of Companies Act. All right. CSR is coming from section 135 of Companies Act. So it is a what? Statutory provision in India. And CSR will be what? CSR will be based upon three things: people, planet, and what? Profit. Very, very important thing. People, planet, and profit. ये डायग्राम है Gandhian trusteeship model. It is based upon Gandhian trusteeship model. All right. देखो मैं जितना बता रहा हूं ना, everything, each one of these things will be used in paper. I will show you every year when UPSC asks the question, you are going to use that. I'll show you. Just wait. So this is about CSR. So what I was talking about, when private sector is bringing the efficiency, private sector is bringing efficiency, how to ensure that? What are the key values of efficiency? So I'll give you RTAO. याद रखना, एक साथ याद आना चाहिए. And I am just giving you, again, this will be overlapping in governance aspect of paper 4 and governance aspect of paper 2. We are not going to do too many things. We are going to do less things, but in a very efficient way, which is going to be used. All right. So first question, my first question will be here is, what is the difference between efficiency and effectiveness? Can you differentiate between efficiency and effectiveness? Yes, efficiency is more a quantitative aspect. It is more an input-output based aspect. Quantitative aspect. And here you'll have the qualitative aspect. Example, not without example. All right. Example, there is a school which is being created. School, fund for a school is there. All right. So gross enrollment ratio will be what? Quantitative aspect, efficiency. And qualitative aspect will be what? Learning outcome. Learning outcome will be that. Similarly, what is RTAO? This is responsive, transparent, accountable, and open. So tell me about this. What is the difference between openness and this, what you call, responsiveness? So I'll tell you one thing. Okay. Can you differentiate between transparency, openness, responsiveness, and accountability? Can you see a link? Can you see a link? Transparency is what? If I talk about transparency, a glass mirror is transparent. That means what? Whatever inside is clearly visible to the public. So governance aspect is visible to the public. So that is simply transparency. So visible to public. All right. From next class onwards, we are going to increase the speed. All right. This is the first class. We are slow. Transparency. And then I'm talking about openness. What is openness? It is next level. So being transparent and being open are two different things. Openness means ease of accessibility. Openness means what? Ease of accessibility. All right. And when you talk about openness, then responsiveness are further different. Accessibility, and you can say accessibility and availability. All right. Then what about this responsiveness? Not just being accessible, but also being responsive. Responsive means, what do you mean by responsive? Here it is about two-way communication. What is it going to create noise? थोड़ा कम करो. ठीक है? So it will be further. Responsive means two-way communication. Did you understand that? So did you understand the different levels? Open to suggestions. Not just open to suggestions. That is what? Openness. Responsive means government acting on suggestions. RTI is the effort for responsiveness. When RTI is being replied back. But citizen charter is what? Openness. Citizen charter without grievance redressal. If it is with grievance redressal, that will what? Responsive. Are you understanding, Mosam?
Yes, sir.
These all are, we are going to use that. Just hold the patience, have some patience. Okay. So my question, my concern is what? I told you about transparency. We started here with transparency. What is the one very important aspect of transparency which is practiced by Government of India? Digital India. For transparency, it is Digital India. Digitalization. All right. So, transparency. For transparency, one thing is Digital India. So I'll tell you one thing. That is again a question of debate. It will not be transparent for those because of digital divide.
Digital divide.
Because of digital divide. So I'll tell you 3-4 things. Computerization. I'll tell you computerization, digitalization, e-government, e-governance, and then digital era governance. Can you differentiate that? Can you differentiate this theme? Very, very important. Wherever you find Digital India, wherever you find digitalization, you can use this. What do you understand by each one of these? What does it mean? Computerization means, so placing computer in the office simply is computerization. It has nothing more than placing the computer. So this is computerization. This is computerization. All right. And what? Digitalization. Digitalization is, for example, land record digitalization. Putting the data of the office in the computer. That is what? Digitalization of records. Are you understanding my point? Digitalization. And then e-government. What do you mean by e-government? E-government is further a bigger aspect. E-government is further a bigger aspect. E-government will be what? Again, government ready for governance. Structural aspect of digital government, structural state aspect of Digital India is ready. So that is what? E-government. All right. And what will be this? E-governance. This is e-governance. This is e-governance.
The structural aspect of e-governance is the government. The government is ready to use this.
Yes. So that is a structurally government is ready. And when government started functioning on the basis of digital, data, so that will be e-governance. That means what? You can apply for driver license, what? Online. So that is e-governance. Are you understanding my point? Are you understanding my point? So that is e-government is what? Government has the data of all the criminals, but e-governance is what? The criminals, can appeal through e-courts. So on e-courts, they are getting the justice. Online FIR. So this is e-governance. Yes. So better word, na? Structural and functional aspect. And then I am talking about what? Digital era governance. What do you mean by digital era governance? Can somebody explain? Yes. So there is what? There is, public sector, private sector, and civil society organization. All these will be what? Delivering the services on digital platform. So here, all these three pillars. This is the largest. We are achieving towards digital era governance. Here, the importance is what? Governance. So governance, three pillars are legislative, executive, and judiciary. So these all will be part of government. So government, civil society organization, and private sector, all these will be on the digitally interlinked and providing services on digital platform. So in that, you will have Industrial Revolution 4.0. Industrial Revolution 4.0. Industrial Revolution 4.0 is what?
Internet of Things.
अरे सुनो मेरी बात, जब भी कोई नया वर्ड आए ना, you should have one thing in ready, which is the most important aspect with respect to that particular topic. Let's talk about Industrial Revolution 4.0. Although this is the paper 3 topic, but I am going to, I just give you a brief. So here I will write just public sector, civil society organization, and private sector. So Industrial Revolution 4.0, what will be there in Industrial Revolution 4.0? Is it about artificial intelligence only? So artificial intelligence will be there. This is machine learning is artificial intelligence only. All right. Machine learning, cyber physical system, and Internet of Things are same. Almost same. Cyber physical systems and nanotechnology. This is IR 4.0. So that means what? That means what? See, these things can change also, not just nanotechnology. It can be biotechnology also. Are you understanding? That means what? It is not just looking at a particular internet development like blockchain technology in isolation. It is about the fusion of the technology. We are coming to this. What? We are coming to this artificial intelligence also. We are coming to this cyber physical systems also. But also the fusion at one place only, all these things will be integrated. That is Internet Revolution, Industrial Revolution 4.0. Cyber physical system connected on in cyber world, Internet of Things. All right. But this is not just only thing which you should be knowing. When it comes about Industrial Revolution 4.0, all right, you should be having this thing in mind, and second thing which should be coming into your mind is Industrial Revolution 1.0, Industrial Revolution 2.0, Industrial Revolution 3.0, and Industrial Revolution 4.0. Industrial Revolution 1.0 came up during colonial India. What was the focus? Spinning mule, economy of a scale. That was the focus. Economy of a scale happened in almost all the industrial revolutions. But here you will have this, what? Steam engine based, cotton spinning. Industrial Revolution 2.0 was iron and steel industry based. All right. Industrial Revolution 3.0 was electronics based. And Industrial Revolution 4.0 is this one. Industrial Revolution 4.0 is what? Technology based. Okay. So what is the difference? What is the difference? How Industrial Revolution 4.0 is different from 1 to 3? All these three has created jobs. But Industrial Revolution 4.0 will be reducing the job. Who is saying that? You cannot just say by yourself. When if you can quote somebody, you should be quoting that.
Bill Gates.
Not Bill Gates is उसे अच्छा example मैं देता हूँ. Sapiens का writer कौन है? Who has written Sapiens?
Yuval Noah Harari.
Yuval Noah Harari. Yes, this person, Yuval Noah Harari. He has stated about this. That this is going to create a huge crisis. Yuval Noah Harari has stated that this in the age of Industrial Revolution 4.0, it is not important what to learn, but it will be important how to learn. Content will no more be relevant, but how to learn will be much more relevant. So this is slightly from paper 3, which I discussed. So did you understand about this digital era governance very clearly? Digital era governance, you understood about that? समझ में आ रहा है? क्या नहीं समझ में आ रहा है? क्लास के बाद डायमंड डायग्राम ऑफ सीएसओ निकल गया. ठीक है.
ये सब क्वेश्चन डेफिनेशन का कितना इंपॉर्टेंट रहता है, जैसे कि उसको लाइन में लिखना इंपॉर्टेंट रहता है कि एक लाइन बोला या डायरेक्ट क्वेश्चन आया तो हमने ये डायग्राम बना के.
I'll show you. Let me come to the questions. No, I'll show you. These are the feeders. बहुत systematically plan करके I am approaching it. ठीक है. These are the feeder points which I am giving it to you. ठीक है. Let's say I am training your mind that you see one thing and 2-3 important illustrations, 2-3 important ideas should come into your mind. All right. Once it starts coming, it will be very easy to write a good answer, a beautiful answer. Then I wanted to ask you, okay, so e-governance is there. So this is about the governance. So this is very important aspect. Now I wanted to continue it from here. So if we talk about the governance, this governance is value neutral. Governance is value neutral. And good governance will be what? Value laden. This is value neutral. So what is this good in good governance? If I ask you in one word, you tell me the definition of good governance. Enabler. You can just try in just one word. What is the important aspect of good governance? One word is citizen-centric governance. This is the largest aspect of good governance. Now, can you tell me the features of good governance? Can you tell me the features of good governance? Tell me quickly. Separation of power, check and balances, बोल दे जाओ, RTAO, all right, SMART, simple, moral, accountable, responsive, transparent. All right, principle of subsidiarity. What is the subsidiarity? Authority is matching with responsibility. And then bottom up rather than top down. What do you mean by bottom up? Here the word is new localism. All right, what is new localism? What is new localism? न्यू लोकलिज्म कोई बताएगा? लोकल विथ नेशनल, है ना? Here let's say panchayati raj institution might not be very efficient, है ना? So national plans like community development programs will be ensured through what? Block level, block development, panchayat. So block and districts, the aspirational district program. Why districts are considered as the what? Nodes of development. All right, the last implementation point, because devolution till every citizen is not practically possible. So this is new localism. So national aspiration and local values. Are you understanding my point?
using of national goals को achieve करने के लिए local
not, अरे देखो, ये है individuals. There are so many individuals, है ना, which are creating gram sabha. All right, but one national, the aspirational district program, let's say, take this, है ना, here you will have one district. All right, so devolution of funds cannot directly be going to this person or this person. That will be creating a lot of anonymity. All right, so that's why a level just above the bottommost level, will be considered, and here the funds devolution, and this will be acting as a node for development. Are you understanding? It'll come. So it is for ensuring efficiency. Tell me more about good governance. Tell me more features of good governance quickly. Digital era governance. More features of good governance. Quick governance also. Negative aspects हर चीज का है, but we are aspiring towards going digital era governance. ठीक है? All right. The good governance is quick governance also. Good governance is environmental friendly governance. So what do you mean by environment friendly? I'll rather say sustainable model of governance. So next is what I wanted to say in good governance is what? Proactive, pro people, and pro policy. Pro policy. There will be much more. There will be much more aspect of good governance. You should understand that these are the things which we are aspiring for, looking at. So this is about good governance. So did you understand what is the value we are looking for? For example, all the conduct rule values, political neutrality, the constitutional values of civil services, preambular values, justice, social, economic, and political. All these will be the aspect of what? Good governance. Are you understanding? Good governance is a larger word. What if you want to define it in just one word? That is what? That is this one. So I told you in ethics session that here, in this, there is one more thing I wanted to tell you. Accountability is inversely proportional to
Audit.
autonomy. Accountability is audit only. Audit is accountability. So if I ask you to create a graph between accountability and autonomy, can you create that? 10th class. Y equal to 1 by x. This graph is this. All right. All right. So here autonomy is less. Why? When accountability is high. Accountability is high. Here autonomy is high. So that means what? Accountability has to be less. Are you understanding my point? And then there is one more thing which we discussed. Last time I have given you a very beautiful idea of presentation. So here also I am going to do the same. In paper number 2 also the same idea will be valid. Here you have got accountability. Accountability. Here you have autonomy. All right. So here both are high. That means what? High performance. This is a very unique, very beautiful presentation idea. High performance. More autonomy, less accountability, that will lead to civil chaos. And less accountability and less autonomy will be what? Disengagement. And more accountability, less autonomy will be what? Micromanagement. समझ रहे हो ना? Are you understanding my point?
No autonomy.
This is what? This is high on autonomy. High. Here you will have to write high. This is low. This is high. This is low. क्या? ऐसा ही कंडीशन होता है. You will have to show. You will have to show. You will have to assume कि yes, Indian bureaucracy, which is efficient bureaucracy, it is accountable as well as autonomous also. Are you understanding my point? Accountability, too much of accountability from the center will be what? Will be micromanagement. Let's say let's say central government is or a state government is putting too much accountability on Panchayati Raj institutions. So it will end up doing micromanagement of Panchayati Raj institutions. This is a beautiful diagram, not available anywhere. And very few people use it. And mind it, the person who has used it has got 17 rank. I know that person particularly. The person who has used it has got 17 rank just by way of 40 days of preparation. For mains, 40 days of preparation. In just first attempt, he got that rank. पहले से कुछ नहीं पढ़ा हुआ. हाँ? हो जाता है. नहीं. I know that person particularly. Very smartly use this content in your answer. It should not appear like patchwork. That is the one of my humble request. You should be very smart. 60-70 days It's sufficient if you know exactly what to leave, what not to study. All right. So moving ahead. देखो आगे आओ. So if we talk about the accountability, what is the aspects of different accountability? What, how, when, where? What, how, when, where aspect of accountability you will have to see. So I'll tell conventional notion of accountability will be this. This is conventional, which is top down. CAG based accountability. This is conventional notion of accountability. All right. And this one is what? Present notion of accountability. And which should be there? That should be bottom up. For example, this is what? This is conventional audit. And this is what? Social audit. Citizen based audit. This is what? This is bottom up. Are you understanding my point? Are you understanding my point? समझ में आ रहा है? This thing you can make this diagram. ऐसा नहीं है. All these diagrams which I am telling you, you can make that. So, first class of every class is focused upon diagrams only. So I am giving you diagrams. All right. One class will be focused upon structure only. So I will be giving you n number of structures. There will be another class where I will be providing you the data. I will be providing you the charts which are there. All right. Some graphs. All right. So just hold on. Everything will be there. And content also. And in the when we'll be using it in previous year paper, I'll be showing how to use that in the real time examination. है ना? Clear है? So this is about the auditing and accountability thing is there. All right. Civil chaos accountability. So let me come to just one more very important topic. The form of governance. So I'll tell you, when India got independence, India has got two choices. There was presidential form of governance which was present in United States at that time, and in Britain you will have this parliamentary form of governance. So where to go? That was India's idea, India's weight. Where to go? So what was actual bait which you are looking for? It is not just the presidential or parliamentary form of governance. Rather, I'll say it is about the choosing stability or accountability. Choosing stability or accountability, and we chose accountability over stability. So that's why we went towards this parliamentary form of governance. All right. So what we choose here? Accountability over stability. So there is one very important question. This is the thing. If they are asking about the parliamentary form of governance and presidential form of governance difference. So this is the thing from where you have to start. All right. All right. But if I ask you the difference, right, the difference between parliamentary form and presidential form. Can you tell me? They will be participative. But tell me in just one word. Do not explain me anything. Okay. Accountability or Stability. So here you will have legislature and executive and judiciary like this. Here you will have legislature, executive and judiciary like this. This is what? This is complete separation of power. Here, not separation of power. So check and balances more important than that of separation. Separation more important than that of check and balances. Or here also you will have very strong check and balances. Now come to some of the features which you know. President, who is the de facto head here? Prime Minister. Who is the de facto head here? President. President is elected or this? What?
No.
Here you will have elected president. Here elected PM. All right. Elected member will be appointed by president as PM. ऐसे लिखेंगे आप. हाँ, appointed by the president, है ना?
ये तो डायरेक्ट यहाँ चुना ही जाता है.
हाँ, वहाँ पे चुना ही जाता है. वहाँ पे direct, that is the elected president. All right, है ना? And then you will have this what? President is the part of. President is the part of
Parliament.
Parliament. President belongs to Parliament. Here you do not.
President is a part of executive.
Here president is a part of executive, not parliament. Sorry. Here president is a part of
Legislature.
parliament. Executive and legislature both. All right. So here you will have the spoil system. Here you will have the concept of kitchen cabinet. Do we have a spoil system here? What do you mean by a spoil system?
Anybody.
Yes, this is what? The president appointing executives or bureaucrats. Here you will not have no spoil system. All right. All right. Here in this case, let's talk about judiciary also. Less instances, no instances, even very less instances or no instances of judicial activism. But here you will have the what? Judicial activism. Policy paralysis. There you will not witness policy paralysis.
Only one man can take decision.
No policy paralysis. Here you have what? This multi-party system. Here you will have what? Two-party system.
लेकिन सर वहाँ जैसे गन कंट्रोल का डिस्कशन हो रहा है वहाँ पर तो पॉलिसी पैरालिसिस है ही है क्योंकि वहाँ पर भी सेनेट से नहीं पास.
Not like this, the Indian one. Indian policy paralysis is of different nature. There is a tussle between president and senate. All right, but here this is not. There is no such tussle. Here the tussle between legislatures only. I don't know.
Bill is passed, but not notified by the
bill is passed,
but not notified or implemented.
नहीं ऐसा नहीं है. Eventually it will come into the picture. There will be some time gap. There will be some time. If parliament passes a bill, it creates an act. There will be some act which will be, because of challenges of implementation. There will be transition period of the act and execution of that particular act. No, it will not be executed immediately. But Parliament passes a bill, that means what? That means that is a very big thing. That is the law of the land, and that has to be implemented.
Like CA has been passed by the Parliament.
Mhm.
It is not notified as well. Has been passed, but the law hasn't been.
Law. So that is the transition period. There is no bar on the transition period. All right. So you cannot question the sanctity of act which is passed by Parliament. That is, sanctum. That is not policy paralysis. Policy paralysis is when, because of the coalition, there are certain part of the legislatures who do not share view with most majority of the legislature, and that is why there is a policy paralysis. Policy look down.
उसमें भी एक टाइम लिमिट दिया गया था और जो कमेटी ऑन बाय एजुकेशन, तो अगर आप उस टाइम लिमिट तक अगर आप लॉ नहीं बना पाते तो कमेटी तक उनको परमिशन लेना पड़ता है एक्सटेंशन।
There are procedures for that. ठीक है ना? I'll come to that. ठीक है ना? देखो ज्यादा कॉम्प्लिकेट मत करो चीजों को, ठीक है? अगर जो लेजिस्लेचर लॉ बनाया है तो एग्जीक्यूटिव का काम है इंप्लीमेंट करना. देयर इज ट्रांजिशन पीरियड बिटवीन दैट. ऑलराइट, ऐसा नहीं होगा कि लेजिस्लेचर ने लॉ बना दिया अब उसको इंप्लीमेंट ही नहीं कर रहा है एग्जीक्यूटिव. इट विल नॉट हैपन. देयर माइट बी सम ट्रांजिशन पीरियड, देयर माइट बी सम लूप होल्स, देयर माइट बी सर्टेन bylaws which are needed for implementing that legislative law. ऑलराइट, अब देखो इसमें और पॉइंट्स निकालना है. टेल मी अबाउट प्रेसिडेंशियल फॉर्म एंड पार्लियामेंट्री फॉर्म. You can say that here no confidence motion. Lead to what? Removal of what? Government. Their impeachment is not essentially related to what? It is not essentially related to removal of president. President tenure is first 4 years only, and in the middle, if the president is removed, then the next president continues for finishing that tenure only. All right. Did you understand this? Think. I have set the tone. You take it forward.
Parliamentary form prevents despotism, whereas this presidential form can lead to autocracy.
You cannot say that strictly, but yes, that spoil system which I talked, the kitchen cabinet which I talked, this is a kind of which is present in this presidential form, not in parliamentary form. All right. Come here. Take this. All right. So this is about parliamentary form and presidential form. So let me tell you, we discussed with a question and then we came to governance. we talked about state, private sector, civil society organization, some diagrams, diamond diagram, and importance of how to use this civil society organization in India. Hai we have created the diamond diagrams, then private sector, hai and then we have discussed about the differences between public sector and private sectors, then corporate social responsibility, then efficiency, effectiveness, hai and then computerization, digitalization, e-governance, and digital era governance, then industrial revolution 4.0, governance to good governance. What are the different aspects of good governance? All right. And then we discussed about accountability and autonomy, this beautiful diagram of accountability and autonomy. All right. How accountability are shifting. And then we discussed about forms of governance. All right. All right. So let me just ask you one more very important aspect, very important question. What puts restriction? What puts restriction on the government? I have explained it to you. Constitutionalism. What do you understand by this term, constitutionalism? Yes, there are two aspects of constitutionalism. One is to understand the constitution in its true spirit. To understand the constitution in its true spirit. And second is what? To implement the constitution in its true sense. And we have got, there are several words which you need to understand. We have got limited government. Limited government. If this word is being used, what do you understand by this limited government? Yes, because of the idea of constitutionalism. First thing, because of the idea of we are living in rule of law. We are living in rule of law. We have got fundamental rights to it. We have got fundamental rights. All right. There are certain, this checks and balances, like citizen accountability. All right. So these are the limitations. So what do you understand by this term, rule of law? Law is supreme. You know the conventional lex rex, rex lex. सुने हो ये तो सुने ही होंगे. Lex rex, this is the idea. Law is king. So I'll say this one is the rule of law, which is in India, rule of law. All right. I am creating this like this. There is equality before law and there is equal protection of law. And here you will have this what? Procedure established by law and due process of law. All right. Just a second. Chalo, fill up karo. बताओ. So I'll tell you, this equality before law and procedure established by law, these are all what? British origin. And equal protection of law and due process of law will be US origin. Very, very important. Are you understanding? So equality before law. What do you understand by equality before law? There will be three aspects of it. One is no special privilege. Second one is equal subjugation of law, equal subjugation in the eyes of law. And third one is no person is above law. All right. Equal protection of law will be what? Say in one word, like should be treated alike. All right. So my point is, my saying to you is, when you are asked about this rule of law, make this diagram. All right. Equal protection of law will be what? Equal treatment in equal circumstances. Then similar application of law. And third one is no discrimination by law. Okay? Procedure established by law. Which article in our constitution? Which article has this word? No person can be deprived of his life and liberty except by procedure established by law. Which article? Article 21. But is this procedure established by law strictly with the word procedure established by law? It has changed. A.K. Gopalan case has stated that procedure established by law will be for executive only. So there are three checks for procedure established by law. Again, check number one, whether the law made with adequate authority. All right. Second is whether any other law which is present to deprive a person from life and liberty. And third one is what? Third one, bolo. Whether the correct procedure was followed or not. Correct procedure was followed or not. These are the checks. And due process of law is a, here you will have this what? A.K. Gopalan case, where only executive was made accountable for the any wrongs with respect to article number 21. All right. So only executive accountable. Due process of law will be what? Due process of law will be here by which person? Bolo. Menaka Gandhi.
Menaka Gandhi case.
Menaka Gandhi case. Yes. So Menaka Gandhi case. So here all these three checks will be there, plus one more check will be there, whether the law is just or moral or not. Mind it, if you are asked about rule of law, if you have seen rule of law, in your paper and you created this diagram, it is giving sufficient clarity of sufficient understanding of rule of law. Understanding? All right. So tell me one thing, that since it is taken from United States, due process of law is taken from United States. So judicial review has expanded or it is decreased after this? Expanded. Judicial review will expand. Why? Judicial review is from article number 13. Article number 13. So judicial review expanded. See, this question can also come, mind it, from moving from procedure established by law to due process of law. So you should be knowing all this. You should be clearly knowing all this. All right. What is the difference between procedure established by law and due process of law? Clear? Eh? Mind my words. All right. All right. Asha. So I told you one very important aspect. Here I told you about rule of law. So we discussed rule of law. I told you in good governance, one aspect is what? Bottom-up approach. Bottom-up approach. So one of the very important aspects of bottom-up approach is what? There are different terms. You know the terms? Deconcentration. What is deconcentration of power? What is deconcentration of power? What is devolution of power? अरे ये सब मेंस में लगेगा, आपको पहले भी बता चुके हैं, पीटी के टाइम भी थोड़ा थोड़ा. What is deconcentration of power? Means not just one power center, sharing the power with others. So that is deconcentration. Will come, just hold, इसके बाद delegation पे आएंगे, ठीक है ना? So deconcentration, delegation and devolution. Delegation is what? Ultimate authority is parliament. Ultimate authority is center. But the implementing authority is what? The level at which the power is delegated. The level at which the power is delegated. Just a second. All right. So if I ask you about devolution, what do you mean by devolution?
Constitution provides the powers to at different levels.
Yes, this is, you will have the constitutional aspect. Yes, in devolution you will have constitutional aspects. So my question will be what? Where was I? I was talking about delegation, devolution, and I just wanted to give you a very important concept. Let's talk about federalism. What is this federalism? This is a part of devolution. Federalism. See, this is very high frequency word which you are going to use in paper number 2. I am going to give you the content which you are going to use only. All right. Very high frequency word. They can ask you direct questions on federalism. So federalism means what? Sharing the power between center and state. And that has to be explicitly backed by constitution. That has to be backed by constitution. So federalism. What kind of federalism? We started with cooperative federalism. Cooperative federalism. But tell me what happened. Cooperative federalism. What was cooperative federalism? It was between center state, states, and center and multiple states. So cooperative federalism. Cooperative means cooperation. But mind it, center is very much powerful, but state is less powerful. State is less powerful. So this cooperative federalism will eventually turn into bargaining federalism. What? Bargain. This is the structure which I am giving you here. Not the diagram, but a structure. Bargaining federalism. But from cooperative federalism, you will be moving towards what? Competitive federalism. Competitive federalism. What do you mean by competitive federalism? From cooperation to competition. See, in cooperation, there was no efficiency which was there, so competition was focused. We imported this on the basis of Australian notion of federalism. We imported it on the basis of Canadian notion of federalism. There we first these Western countries went to competitive federalism, but there was a problem in competitive federalism. What was the problem? In the competition, there was cutthroat competition which was there. Cutthroat competition means, master, let's say two states are fighting with each other, started harming each other. Let's say this, the idea of Belgaum. Have you heard of this Belgaum? It is disputed between Maharashtra and Karnataka. So this is what? A negative aspect of competitive federalism. Are you understanding my point? So negative aspect of river disputes started emerging. Negative aspects of competitive federalism. So that's why we are into what? A new phase of competitive cooperative federalism. What? Competitive cooperative federalism. All right, not just being competitive, but competitive cooperative federalism. Are you understanding my point? This is the structure. Mind it. If federalism comes, you are going to use this structure 100% sure. All right, but is it the only federalism aspect we are having? Remind 14 Finance Commission report. Center directly started giving funds to Panchayati Raj institutions. The aspirational district program, funding going to districts. So that means what? There are aspects of sub-federalism also. I'm telling you how federalism is evolving. Examples I gave you, 14 Finance Commission, 15 Finance Commission, some of the schemes like the aspirational district program. Are you understanding? So sub-federalism means Panchayati Raj institution level, block level, district level. From it is integrated from center. All right. And then I'm going to the next thing, which is what? Is self-help group acting as the fourth tier of federalism? Kudum Sri acting as the fourth tier of federalism. Civil society organization is acting as the fourth tier of federalism. These are all part of governance only. Are you understanding my point? Example is what? Kudum Sri. Kudum Sri is even, it is the self-help group has expanded so big that it is taking up the bus services. So it is ideally the duty of government in Delhi. Who is operating bus services? Delhi government. But Kudum Sri is coming to that. So that means what? Civil society organization active in governance. Example, case study. Are you understanding my point? So when you see federalism, you will have to see federalism. So tell me, is sub-federalism present here, here, and here? Sub-federalism present at all the levels or not? Yes. There will be cooperation. There will be cooperation between center and Panchayati Raj institutions. Schemes about empowerment of Panchayati Raj institutions, schemes where Panchayati Raj institutions are implementing the central schemes. So that will be what? Cooperation between center and Panchayati Raj institution. उसके पहले था block development programs, 1952 community development programs. So BDO was there, and now we are having this panchayat raj institutions. कॉम्पिटेटिव को हाँ तो लिख लो, टाइमलाइन बना लो. ये देखो cooperative federalism just after 1950s, 1950s to you will have 1980s, all right, and 1980s to 2010, or you can say 2000 until now. Here you will have this what? Cooperative federalism. Cooperative federalism. Here you will have this competitive federalism. And here you'll have cooperative competitive federalism. But is this sufficient? Give some examples. No. Give some examples. Here you will have what kind of cooperative federalism? Simple. It will be visible in center-state relationship. Through planning commission. Through planning commission. Here, since you have written here planning commission, here you will have the Niti Aayog, which is the Bharatiya model of governance, and which is what? Niti Aayog is cooperative competitive federalism through governing councils. Through governing councils, it will be what? Competitive cooperative federalism. Through planning commission, through NDC. All right. And sub-federalism aspect here. Sub-federalism aspect will be what? Will be from BDO through community development programs. Are you understanding my point? Are you understanding my point? Dekho, this is just one idea which I am giving you. 1950. This is I have created in front of you. Are you understanding my point? This idea you can create in case of every chronology. But use your mind wisely. Do not give the wrong information. You should have a sense of understanding what happened in 1980s, what happened in 1990s, what happened after 1992. All right. So here you will have the competitive federalism. Why? In the era of LPG, 1991. All right. And before LPG also, after 1980s, there was aspects of competition which increased between the states during Rajiv Gandhi time. All right. So, increased competition between states. All right. And since 2000, after 2000, you will have the Niti Aayog. You will have this what? For example, you are coming up with this smart city challenge. Smart city challenge, 14th Finance Commission, 15th Finance Commission. And here you will have this PRIs, creation of PRIs, 1992. Yes, interstate council, that was from the beginning. Cooperative, but it was not functional because of the issue of bargaining federalism. Interstate councils is not very efficient. That's why Sarkaria Commission states that there should be a permanent interstate council so that at least it should be functional. Are you understanding my point? Mosam, do you have any difficulty in understanding?
No, sir, I'm understanding it.
Understanding, no?
Yes, sir.
My point is, can you correlate how to use this content in your questions? Are you able to visualize this, visualize something? How you can improve your answer writing? If you cannot use this content, this is a waste content, you should not be reading that. But I will be showing in UPSC previous year papers how to use these contents. All right. Always think with the perspective of presentation. Content is there. Content is secondary. Presentation is primary. And just hold for a couple of more classes, and after then you will be able to write any answer whatsoever comes in a different way, in a beautiful way. All right, so this is about the cooperative competitive federalism. Did you understand about that? Now, the next part, which can be asked about in the examination. All right. So we are going to talk about delegated legislation and administrative adjudication. What I understand by this delegated legislation? Why do we need delegated legislation? Why do we need delegated legislations? What is the role of committees in parliamentary process? Nikita, you can tell me, you are public administration. Tell me. What do you mean by delegated legislation and why do we need that? That is the most general answer one could have. For functioning of government, there are delegated legislation. For functioning of government, everything will be there. Smooth functioning, everything is there. Tell me everything. I'll just keep this word, smooth functioning of government. Bolo kahan nahi lagega. Election Commission of India, yes, for a smooth functioning of government. CAG for smooth functioning of government. UPSC for a smooth functioning of government. You know, this administrative adjudication, delegated legislation means I just wanted to tell you, avoid such things in answer. Believe me, if you have not practiced, these kind of points can come, but this has to be avoided. Delegated legislation is what? Since constitution has a limitation. Constitution cannot be making law for each and every individual. All right. So constitution has given the authority to parliament to make law. But unfortunately, this limitation lies with parliament also. For example, it has created Right to Education Act, but this Right to Education Act cannot be created for each and every school. All right. So there has to be certain bylaws. There has to be certain delegated legislation which should be there within the ambit of this what? The mold which is set by the constitution and the parliamentary law, and that law is what? Delegated legislation. It is generally flexible in nature. It is also called bylaws. Are you understanding my point? Are you understanding my point? So why do we need delegated legislation? To provide flexibility in legislation, to enable quick decision making in legislation, to implement the central law in efficient manner at the local level. अब देखो इतना सारा चीज बोले, क्या क्या बोले? Constitution, what? Limitation for, you know, each constituency, for each schools, for each individual.
Limitation for making laws for every sector.
Making laws
Every aspect of sector.
for individuals. All right. So constitution has given power to parliament. Parliament will make law, but parliament will also be facing this limitation. So that's why parliament will be coming up with delegated legislation. So what will be the benefits of delegated legislation? Achha, tell me, I just wanted to ask you one thing. Is there any structural fault in delegated legislation? Understand and tell me, is there any structural fault in delegated legislation? Bolo, what do you mean by a structural fault? I told you law making authority is what? Legislature. But in delegated legislation, who makes the law? Executive makes the law. So this is the structural fault. This is the criticism. This is
India we have
overlapping of no. That overlapping is different thing. That overlapping, you are mixing two things. Here, this overlap will be the same person will be minister, same person will be part of legislature. When he votes in Lok Sabha, then he will be legislature. The same person will be minister when the person is answering to question hour. The person is answering to you. What means a person is executive? So that is what I am telling you, na. That is at the parliamentary level. Ana? Here, the parliament is the ultimate authority in case of delegated legislation. But it will be delegating to the bureaucrats. A district magistrate will frame the rules. DM making rules na in the district for implementation of Right to Education Act in that particular area. But he is not the people's representative. So delegative legislation, what? The benefit is what? Look at this. Whenever I write this, that means good points. And this is bad points. Alright. So delegative legislation ka good points will be what? Fast, flexible, situation oriented. Reducing the burden on legislature. All right, sector oriented. This will be also be sector oriented. Situation and sector oriented. All right. Here you will have this what? Effective implementation. Effective implementation. All right. And then bottom up approach. All right. But negative is what? The question about the authority, law making feature, ultimate control with what? Parliament. Ultimate control lies with Parliament. Too much delegated legislation. Delegation, creating discretion. Are you understanding my point? And same thing will be there. All these things will be valid for administrative adjudication. What is administrative adjudication? What do you mean by administrative adjudication? Tribunalization. Tribunalization. Administration will be coming up and giving the idea of justice. So the same, all these points will be there. And all these points here, authority. So administration will be in the justice. So whether the administration have the competence, whether the administration have the competence about the what? Justice delivery or not. That has to be questioned. Kam se kam ye word, can you understand when it is asking about administrative adjudication, tribunalization of justice? That can be a question. Sune ho ye? Justice delayed, is justice denied, justice hurried, is justice buried. So justice hurried is justice buried by tribunalization. Yes, bolo. Ye jarurat hai. It is the need of the hour to reducing the burden on judiciary. Ideally, tribunals, if they are taking up the cases, that will not be challenged further in the Supreme Court. But according to L. Chandra Kumar case, it is stated that tribunal will be equivalent to High Court. So again, it will have to route through High Court to Supreme Court. So that means what? That means what? Again, the problem of overburdening of court remained. L. Chandra Kumar case in tribunals, you can write about that. This is a very important case. All right. All right, did you understand that? Clear है? Clear है? बहुत थकान दिख रहा है. थक गए? अरे, are you enjoying the content? Are you enjoying it or not? Sometimes UPSC might ask you the question about the, the preambular values. I think it has been asked, no? Do you remember preamble as it is? You should be. We the people of India having solemnly resolved to constitute India into sovereign socialist secular democratic republic. So these words, sovereign socialist secular democratic republic, this question has been asked, I think this year or previous to this year. What government is doing for the, implementing the preambular values? So you must be understanding about the exact definition of liberty, exact definition of justice, social, economic, and political. All right. Ah, 5 minutes break. Today I'll finish it here only. Take care. Take care. And from next class, I will be tomorrow is economics, no? The first class is rather very elementary class. Okay, first class is very elementary class. In next session, we'll have acts and policies. So UPSC sometimes asks about the acts and policies. Okay, Anna. So we'll be doing a little bit of this governance aspect, Anna, and then acts and policies which are there. All right. And then comes institutions. There we will be discussing about constitutional, non-constitutional. All the institutions will be covered in just one class. All right. And then there are 2 classes on international relations. That will be through, I'll be providing you one PPT. All right. And international relations will be covered. And then one current affairs class, I will be giving you the data and facts. All right. In one class only, I will be giving you the data and the Supreme Court judgments which you have to use with every topic. Are you understanding my point? Next current affairs class, I will be giving you covering what? All other current affairs things which are going on from last 1 year. All right. They are very limited. I think not more than 10 topics which you have to study. All right. And उसी से आएगा वही 10 topics से आएगा. ठीक है? And after then we'll come to previous year paper 2021. So I would suggest after next 2 classes, one more class, or if you have developed certain confidence, if you remember certain content, you can write previous year paper 2021 by yourself. All right. When we discuss, you must come after writing. So 2021, 2020, 2019, 2018, 2027. All these papers you must write and come. Then only you will be able to appreciate what has been changed here. है ना? वैसे ही आ गए सुनने के लिए तो फिर नहीं होगा, वो अच्छा नहीं होगा. आप समझ रहे हैं, मैंने होगा लेकिन जो आना चाहिए हाँ वो आएगा नहीं, ठीक है. So you write and come, and then we'll have the test, corresponding test. I will be providing it to you, and then there will be discussions of that. Then I will be giving you the right feedback how to improve upon that, है ना. ठीक है. So okay, see you all. Mosam, did you understand? Do you have any
Yes,
problem?
sir. No, sir. Thank you, sir.
Any question? Biswajit,
No, I understood everything
you have?
so far.
Acha.
I
Biswajit,
understood everything so far.
okay. Biswajit, do you have
Yes,
any
sir.
question?
No, sir. No, sir.
Okay. So see you all in next class, that is tomorrow, 8 a.m. sharp. Please, all the people, come on time. Okay. All right. See you all.